sitting here for about 15, maybe 18 minutes with a little bit mild discomfort in this hip. I've been wearing this band here around my knees to keep my glutes activated. You can see how my hip is below my knee, so this is typically an uncomfortable position for me to sit in for any extended period of time, even 5 minutes. For whatever reason, it's not bothering me. And it seems to be that activating the glutes in flexion to make a difference. I also noticed that if I'm just sitting here like this, with my knees together, it doesn't bother me for some reason. I would expect it to start bothering me, but I'm gonna sit here for the next about total of 40 minutes, and then I'll kind of update you on the next clip. I've been sitting here for almost 40 minutes, basically not moving my butt. I'm pretty actually tired of sitting down. I don't like sitting down this long, but I'm trying to re-aggravate my hip again from sitting, and it seems to be doing okay. It does feel uncomfortable. It seems as though that this is actually working pretty good because I'm activating my glutes. I actually tried two things. One, like forcing my knees out wide, which is normally comfortable because that just relieves my hip flexor, my psoas. But when my feet are closer, this is sort of where the issue is, when I'm basically narrow or almost shoulder width or shoulder stance. So kind of what I figured out is if I push on the side of my legs like this, I can activate my glute, and it seems to be, while keeping it in neutral. You know, it seems to be that's what the case may be, what makes it so it doesn't hurt so much. And it seems to be working. I've been sitting here for 40 minutes, my ass is sore from sitting down. So today consisted of, what happened today? I trained my client in the morning at 9 o'clock, three clients in the morning, and during this process I stretched my hip flexors a ton while my client did lunges, biasing hip extension, so that way I'm stretching my psoas more, my iliopsoas, and it provided some relief. Overall, I felt, as I normally would in any particular day when I'm training. And then I had a training session today where I did sumo pause deadlifts, or sumo deadlifts paused. So basically lifting the barbell off the ground about 2 or 3 inches, pausing for 2 to 3 seconds, and then locking out the lift. Did some overhead presses. And then I did bent over rows and lateral raises as a circuit. And I noticed that the bent over rows, although the light weight was like not even 100 pounds, maybe it was 110 pounds, I did feel my psoas, my hip, it kind of bothered me a little bit. I wore a belt for one of the sets. And after that workout, I was pretty jacked. I wasn't too jacked, but normally when I'm walking around and I'm training clients, teaching people stuff, I don't have pain. I don't have any issues. I have maybe a tiny bit of discomfort, but today after my workout, after those paused sumo deadlifts, I found myself uncomfortable as hell. I guess you can call it pain. I wouldn't really call it pain because I'm not hurting, I'm just irritated, I guess. I guess that it is pain. Maybe my pain threshold's higher, who knows. So anyways, I've been doing this, I feel okay. So I decided to I also walked on the treadmill for 10 and then ran for 10 minutes at a 12-minute mile pace. And that's what made me really uncomfortable, I think. After all of that, combining the sumo deadlifts with a little bit of light running irritated my hip. So what I proceeded to do later in the evening after my 4 o'clock client is I went ahead and I lied down, did some foam rolling, watched some YouTube videos on mobility, tried to Google issues with my hip, and that clip you just saw earlier, or maybe the clip you're about to see, I don't know how I'm going to organize this, of me sitting down with sitting down at a deep flexion and pushing my knees out so that I can activate my external rotators and my glutes to help minimize hip pain while seated in position. Right now I'm sitting down in my car and it just feels annoying. It doesn't hurt. Because I have something to lean against, it doesn't feel bad at all. It feels actually okay. The pain definitely feels more higher up in the psoas. And here is sort of what I am learning, just like what I said in my previous vlog, is being able to activate that glute while in flexion. So I'm flexed. I'm in hip flexion, my hip is flexed. But if I activate my glute, my left glute especially, I have less tension in that psoas, or I have less irritation. It feels better. So if I could somehow find a way to activate that butt cheek and keep it on, I do notice that when I'm doing abduction or pushing my knees out, like with a hip circle or a band, I find that the pain is also less, or there's less irritation. Drawing in my abdomen seems to also help a lot as well, so activating my core a little bit helps, but nothing to really stop the irritation. So I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of fix this, and obsessing over it, because for the next few days what I'm going to do is, this is my strategy, is I'm going to stay away from working lower body. I'm going to do bro workouts, bicep curls, triceps, shoulders, and probably bench press, right? I'm not going to do any lower body. I'm going to stay hard on my diet, because when I'm not able to do lower body, I don't burn as many calories. I'm not going to run. I'm just going to try to stay away from anything that makes me feel anything in that hip. So I'm not going to even stretch a lot. I'll probably roll, but I'm not going to stretch. And the reason why I don't want to stretch is because sometimes the stretch provides instant relief, but I somehow feel like the overstretching of the psoas on this particular side doesn't really help it provide any issues. It seems like it just, I want to say it almost makes it worse. I don't know if I stretch it too much. So I really don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking online, watching other videos, and it's irritating, but I'm trying to figure it out. When you type in Google sitting, hip pain while sitting, you can't find anything. I mean, you can't find, there's no silver bullet. You know, like when people say tight hip flexors, you know the stretch to do, but when there's pain while sitting, it could be lots of different reasons. And it's very clear that I have a dysfunctional glute on my left side. Although my left butt cheek is really super strong, because when I do deadlift, that's what essentially gives me the most power. The problem is that it's dysfunction. So I'm having dysfunction in that area because I don't have full hip extension. I have trouble providing full hip extension is really what I should say, because I do have full hip extension. Other things I'm thinking about is I'm going to solve this problem, and if you follow along, you're going to get some ideas. I'm gonna have some videos for some instructional stuff that I've been doing, but this is just more of a journal. I was going to say I was going to lie down at the 5 minutes out of every hour for the day when I start working, just to see if I can just basically let that psoas relax and take a break. And I'm going to do this throughout the day tomorrow and probably next 2 or 3 days. That way I can provide somewhat of a similar effect of being bedridden. That way I can just stay away from having my hip flexor, my psoas, just on, because I really think that's one of the issues, standing and doing stuff. And you know, until and I really don't know if that's the issue, so until I actually eliminate this possibility, because tomorrow's Wednesday, and so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is 3 days, and then my weekend, so I'll have 5 days of basically no lower body. Hopefully I don't degrade a ton. I'm going to degrade a little bit as far as strength is concerned, but at least in my lower body, upper body will be fine. I just want to find a way if I can get this, because the thing about the psoas, the iliopsoas, every time you stand, every time you sit, every time you do anything, it is always on. So I need to like stop using it. And I have a job, I have to work, so I can't really just lie down in bed and watch TV all day, because if I could, I would just do that. But those are thoughts. That's what I'm going to do, and thanks for watching. Different style of video.